are the first day after our first full 4 weeks of vlogging every day. And we're vlogging again. Isn't that great?
That's great. No, I love it. Oh, is that all you're going to say? You want me to start over now? Okay. Well, I want you to know that sometimes my brain hurts. I feel like there is smoke coming out of my head from all of the different research that I do and the studies that I do and all of the food claims and the diets and do this, don't do this. I mean, everybody has their own opinions. And so for the last 9 years, not including school that I've been in, we've been studying about it and researching it and have chosen things that we can feel like we can use. But let's talk to you about some of the things that are out there. I'll talk about the first one. Ansel Keys did a hypothesis back in the 50s or 60s that finally took place and had something happen with the government in the 70s that makes us eat low-fat food. We ate low-fat food for decades and decades and decades and decades. And a lot of people still eat low-fat food, right?
It's the big watchword.
So, whether you believe it or not, there's been hundreds and hundreds of reports written on it, literally hundreds, on
thousands, probably.
That he wasn't right, he did it wrong, he is right, he is wrong, back and forth. You study for yourself. We're not going to even tell you. You study for yourself. But we're going to go over some of the diets that are around there, or some of the claims.
Hi. Did you come to say hi to me? Yeah? Yes? You about had it? Wow, I didn't expect this kind of attention. Okay, go.
What? Yes, you're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. Okay.
Go forage.
Go forth. Go forth and eat.
The Coca-Cola company says obesity comes from too much screen time and not enough exercise. The Atkins diet says there are too many carbohydrates. The Orange diet says that there are too many fats. The vegetarians say we shouldn't eat meat. The paleo diet blames the nutrition problems on grains. Big food companies blame sedentary people for the obesity problems. Insurance companies won't pay for obesity, but they get stuck paying for all the diseases that stem from obesity. In Weight Watchers, you can count points and eat low fat. Nutrisystems and Jenny Craig will have you buy their food.
Low fat, high carb, low fat.
Raw, vegan, and on and on and on.
And doctors are stuck teaching and giving information on what it is that they've learned, because otherwise malpractice comes into view. But some of the doctors have been brave enough to change what they're doing. Two such doctors are doctors that we follow information on. One of them is Diana Schwarzbein. And Diana Schwarzbein is an endocrinologist. Whoops, wrong book. Diana Schwarzbein is an endocrinologist, and she has wonderful information in here that we have been following as our foundation for 9 years, basically. Lots of things some things that we've changed and tweaked, and we're like, we don't follow that. But most of it, this is our foundation. She also has a cookbook, and she has 2 other books that go with it. But she keeps preaching the same thing. She feels strong about the same thing, and we really like her information. So that's one doctor, and she's an endocrinologist. This one is written by Dr. Robert Lustig, who happens to be an endocrinologist.
Pediatric endocrinologist.
He's a pediatric endocrinologist. He's world famous. He wrote this book called Fat Chance. You may may know him from watching 60 Minutes, and it was about 9 years ago because we were involved with watching that also. And when he brought out that sugar is one of the main problems of heart disease, and that was just beginning then, and now it is just gone. Well, this one is where he says sugar is the villain, and it is. He also has a cookbook that goes with it so that you can help know what to do. And just so that you know, this one is Dr. Schwarzbein's. I had a bigger book and I had to bind it together, so I have 1 and 2 because I used it so much. So we're going to define 3 things for you because we're going to keep referring back to those in the books that we talk about, in the information that we give you. And so it's really important that you understand what those are. So one of them is insulin sensitivity, one is insulin resistance, and one is metabolic syndrome. What's insulin sensitivity?
When you're experiencing high blood sugar, your pancreas secretes insulin, and this is to help your cells absorb this high blood sugar.
Yeah. And so it takes the high blood sugar out of the blood.
And makes use of it. Makes use of it for energy and running the cells.
Yeah, so that's sensitivity. So insulin resistance is when the pancreas sends out the insulin because of high blood sugar, but the cells do not respond to it. They resist. They close their doors. They don't want any more. And because of that, then the high blood sugar stays in the bloodstream. The sugar stays in the bloodstream, making high blood sugar. The last one is metabolic syndrome. It is a cluster of 4 things, or 5 things. One of them is high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abnormally high triglycerides and cholesterol, and large abdominal girth. So we talked about the weight using the scale, and we do or do not do that.
We do talk about that it doesn't measure correctly.
It doesn't. So what we do measure is our abdominal girth. And I can demonstrate on you. You have to lift this up.
Oh, sorry.
So abdominal girth goes around and comes right across where the belly is. And he should be standing up, but I'm having him sit down so you can see where the belly button is, and you come across. And then do it.
So what am I?
Well, I don't even need to tell everybody what you are.
Okay.
So what you want to do is be able to take your height in inches and divide it in 2. And you want your abdominal girth to be that or less. Yours is just about a 1/2 inch too much.
Does that work with centimeters?
It's done in inches. I don't know if it works with centimeters.
It works in centimeters. It doesn't matter what you measure it with. They're both measured with the same. It's the number's half.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it works.
There you go.
Math is
Math
really
is not
cool
my
that way.
thing.
Math is cool that way.
Okay, so if women have an abdominal girth of 35 or men have an abdominal girth of 40
That's inches. This time it matters.
inches, then you are extremely high risk for heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. Because inside of that abdominal area, if you've got that much, then you've got fat, the visceral fat that we talked about yesterday, all around your organs. So that is what we're covering today, is abdominal girth. We want you to go and try it. Put on the internet, look and see how to do it. But it's done going straight from the back around to the abdomen, and have someone else do it for you. That's what you want to know.